kids, right? I mean, you're a family man.
Yeah.
With kids, how do you bring Matariki into that, celebrating that, and what's a good way to kind of explain that and help them to experience it?
Yeah. I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to first compliment you on your reo, bro, Matariki.
Oh, kia ora.
And mata being eyes, and ariki, mata ariki, the eyes of the gods, in our own whakaaro as Māori. But you're so right. I think it's a time of reflection, gratefulness, kindness. And I think any time that you sit in a space with your tamariki and promote those sort of whakaaro and those sorts of thoughts is a good thing. I mean, the standard thing is to get up when it's dark, have a feed and all the rest of it, but it's really about the conversations that you have. And I think I'm a stargazer, bro. And I think human beings are. And if you can turn that magic switch on for kids to see further and further and use that as a template for them, I think it's really handy, eh?
If we strip that back then, Pio, to the family,
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are still, would it be fair to say that people in this country are still trying to get their heads around Matariki and how to celebrate?
Yeah, I think really the adults are. I think the kids through school and stuff do a really, really good job, eh? And, if you're not sort of... I don't really want to bring this in, but I'm going to. I mean, if you look at the States and they have Thanksgiving, this is a form of that where you give thanks and gratefulness, I'm a person, I didn't do it this morning, though, because I had to see you guys, but I like to go, hey, I'm grateful for the Northwestern Motorway. I'm grateful. But, if you put those seeds, this is a really good time to take stock of that way of thinking, eh? And of course, Matariki is relevant to here in Aotearoa and Puanga as well, which is the early stage of Matariki, but it's global. So the little kid in China is staring at that star cluster, not at the same time.
Yeah.
The little kid in Italy is staring at the star cluster. And I think those conversations around kindness and gratefulness are the best thing you can do.
It's beautiful.
Put the handbrake on, Cass.
Yeah, bro.
You
and have a feed, sorry.
You talked about yourself being a stargazer.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you look at the stars, right? Like, where does your mind go? What springs up for you when you're looking at the sky?
I think about the people I've lost. I think about what difference I can personally make over the next 10 years. It's about setting goals. I'm not that, this is radio, but you guys can see that I don't look like a gold card pensioner. But, and I can see it on your face. Stop giggling. But I go, okay, how many years have I got left? That's what I think. I say, have I got 10 years? Have I got 15 years? Have I got 20 years? As a Māori male, I should have actually been gone by now, statistically. Don't laugh. But it's... how am I going to contribute to the greater good of the people around me? And Aotearoa, bro, I love this place.
I love the reflection around this time of year, and we should be doing that regularly, right, consistently. But you're talking about the thinking, you're talking about the goal setting.
Yeah.
What are some practical things that you want to leave with listeners as we go into Matariki? What's something practical they can do?
Well, to the listeners, I can give you something because I can tell, bro, that you're a brother from the Pacific.
Yeah.
Every Matariki, our men should go and get a health checkup.
Nice.
And just make it as sorry, bro, but all men. But I just
Hey,
know.
I'm also a brother of the Pacific. I'll have
yes,
you know.
you are. Oh, mate, yeah. All these blue-haired, blonde-haired guys are Pacific Islanders because you live on an island in the Pacific. But just to put that line in the sand, okay, Matariki is when I do this.
Yeah.
Matariki is when I do that. And health, well-being, whare tapa whā. If you've never heard about whare tapa whā, which is a method of wellness, Google it, print it out, and talk to your kids about it. How are you feeling, mate? And, what are your goals? And, pass the food around and talk about food and what are the ripple effects of eating together? All those sorts of things. They're right in front of you.
Beautiful.
It's interesting. On the weekend, we had a big long lunch with some new friends on Sunday, and
Yeah, I was busy.
we went for a number of hours, and we were like, let's go around and we'll do a bit of a Matariki sort of look back and then look forward as well. So sort of reflecting on the year and what's been good and what are you celebrating, thankful for, and then what are you excited about coming up. It's interesting to see the different perspectives kind of based on age. So like our kids were there. You know, my son Leo is 4.
Awesome.
Very much lives in the present.
Yeah.
Same with my other son Jay, he's 7.
He's a bloke, mate. He's a bloke.
trying to get them to, you know, we're like, what's been good this year?
Yeah.
And his face is just like, what?
Good
what are you
luck,
talking about?
Good
Like
luck.
I'm living now, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't think back, you know. And then as we go around the adults and stuff like that, the perspective moves out. And then when you're talking about, when you look at the stars, you know, you're thinking about how much time have I got left and what am I doing with that time and what's legacy about? What am I leaving for people? Like over our lives, the kind of things that we reflect on, they change a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think to plant seeds in our kids' heads, like, what's your 4-year-old's name?
Leo.
Good Māori name, bro.
His middle name is Huia.
Oh, beautiful. Reo is his name. No, but just to say to him, you know, when I, as your dad, come to Matariki, I'm reminded how awesome you are, bro. Like, you are the most awesome 4-year-old that I know. You know, and those are just seeds that grow. We got to create spaces to cultivate kindness, eh?
Yeah.
And Matariki's a really... Oh, bro, I'll tell you what I did. I went to Mitre 10, my favourite shop. Yeah. But this is not a plug.
There'll be a lot of people going on a long weekend.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. But then I went to the warehouse. I don't know why I put Mitre 10 in there. And I bought 2 Feijoa trees.
Yeah.
And I bought a lime tree and I bought a tangelo. So on Friday, I'm going to plant those.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that for you, or is it for any significance? Anything of significance?
No, but it's you know us Māori fellas, bro. Create a space for good conversation. So in a year's time, oh, that's right. See that dead tree over there? I planted that last month, or whatever. You know, but put a line in the set, and that might be something neat that you can do with your kids. You know, and if you haven't got a big place, get it. You can get those. I don't know if it's the right word. What do you call a small tree that doesn't really grow up?
Bonsai.
No. A little person tree.
A shrubbery. I'm not sure.
But it's a visual thing, eh?
Yeah.
And you know, in 10 years' time, there you go, under that tree eating plums, cuz.
That's beautiful, and it's practical. It's real that you can. Yeah, I love the way you say you can create a conversation around it. Last thing from me, Pio, for somebody who's listening, what would you want to impart on them? And if there was only one thing that you would impart on them in celebrating Matariki, what would it be? Curiosity.
I think our country's going through a really tough time. I think I was listening to a guy. I listen to you guys most of the time, you know. But I was listening to a guy who was an atheist, and he said to me, "Oh, we need church." He said, "We need churches. We need churches. We need those spaces." And I thought, "Oh, this is an interesting conversation." And he says, "We're running out of spaces to go to find grace, peace, and aroha in society." So for New Zealand, it's a tough time. I think just empathy. Try and, you know, if you see something and you sort of doesn't feel right to you, find out a bit more about it before you write it off, you know. It's just that grace, eh, bro?
Amen.
Yeah.
Cool
Shut up,
stuff.
brother.
Hey, thanks so much for coming in.
Whoa, hang on. I just spent 2 hours on the northwestern motorway and you're kicking me out without a feed.
Well,
Stella will take you up to the cafe.
No. Hey, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Ngā mihi kia kōrua, and it's been a pleasure.